All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about the Kansas City Chiefs in tonight's video. So their rookies and quarterbacks have reported to training camp in St. Joseph's. Now, this is an introductory pre-camp, which involves 3 practices before the rest of the team arrives on Friday. So they're all wrapped up for today. We're going to go ahead and recap it all. Xavier Worthy, Louis Reese-Zammit. Folks, I'm really excited, man. I think Kansas City has an unbelievable chance to three-peat. I talked about this on a video earlier today. If there was a year to take down Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, it was last year. And what happened? They won back-to-back Super Bowls. Xavier Worthy, keep getting a lot of comments about this. A lot of people are a little indifferent. Earlier today, he did get a little bit banged up. He also had a drop. We're going to talk about all that and LRZ and everything Chiefs in today's video. But before we do, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. I just decided earlier today to cover every single training camp day for the Kansas City Chiefs. So we got a ton of content on the way. But if you try and get this video to 100 likes, that would mean the absolute world to me. So real quick on Xavier Worthy, he jammed his finger, left practice, but jammed his finger. So he's going to be good to go. My big thing, and we know he was dealing with a hamstring issue, so he missed a lot of OTAs and mini camp. It doesn't seem I'm not thinking Xavier Worthy's gonna be an injury guy, injury prone, but luck just has yet to go his way. However, thankfully this is just a jammed finger. Drops are the only issue, or the only concern I should say I have with Xavier Worthy, and it just comes down to building up that chemistry, building up that reliability with Mr. Patrick Mahomes. Now, the good news for the Kansas City Chiefs is they still have Rashee Rice. They still have Travis Kelce. Now you bring in Hollywood Marquise Brown. So I think Xavier Worthy, if he can stay on the field, whether that's injuries or whether that's drops, he's going to be so forgotten about. And it's just crazy because this is the dude that, broke the combine record running a 4.21 40-yard dash. And you bring in another speedy receiver, Marquise Brown. But, freshman at Texas, very young, 62 catches, 12 total touchdowns. He's a big play waiting to happen. And, I know I said this in earlier today's video, but Kansas City was just lacking that reliable big play. There weren't too many big plays for Kansas City last year, but I know Patrick Mahomes was just missing that reliable big play guy. And that's why you bring in Hollywood Brown, and that's why you drafted Xavier Worthy. So we'll talk about him in just a second. But I did want to mention LRZ because Patrick Mahomes hyped him up as NFL great. He said he sees the Welshman's unreal athletic ability firsthand. So we had our first practice today, and I know that the Chiefs are still waiting on veterans to report to camp, but several rookies took the field at camp for the first time, including Louis Reese-Zammit. He was featured by the team on Twitter earlier today, and it just went absolutely viral. This was such an interesting storyline a couple of months ago, and as time keeps going by, it appears like LRZ can have and might actually have a legitimate role, let alone making the roster. I mean, folks, him making the roster when this first dropped, it seemed like an extreme long shot. That is quickly becoming a reliable, or of course I can't think, that's becoming reality. So read an article here. This is from planetrugby.com. By the way, I was watching some of his highlights in rugby. I mean, the people are calling him a superstar, right? When he first came over to the Kansas City Chiefs, when he decided he was going to go to the NFL, people kept saying superstar rugby player. But I've never watched rugby a day in my life. He's a superstar, all right? So here was some of the excerpts from this article. Mahomes was effusive with his praise for the Welshman, stating he's fast, very fast, before going on to discuss what he has seen in training. We're starting him at running back. He'll do a lot of special team stuff, and he can actually catch. This is what Patrick Mahomes told the Wriggles Picks podcast, and this was a couple more direct quotes about him. It looks different. He catches it like he's catching a rugby ball, but he never drops the football, so you don't complain about it. And I think that's what's been the best part about it, is he works his tail off. He understands that he needs to get better. He needs to continue to work. So he's slated in right now. I'm trying to look at the depth chart. He's slated in as like RB5, RB6. Obviously, as Patrick Mahomes just said, he's got to get better. He's got a lot of stuff to work on. But when you have these physical specimen freak athletes that have professional sport experience. I mean, this is like a once in a lifetime story here. This is something you don't hear every day. This is something you don't hear every decade, or maybe every decade. But LRZ, the only thing I can think of would be ball security that would prohibit him or prevent him from making the Chiefs roster. If he's having a bunch of fumble issues, if he's dropping a bunch of balls, then that's some issues. But like we've heard from Patrick Mahomes, like we've heard from the entire Kansas City Chiefs team, doesn't appear like dropping balls is an issue, whether that's catching it or running it. But guys, I'm telling you, when you have a freak athlete like this, I'm not saying he's going to be a day one starter, because this is the back-to-back defending Super Bowl champs, but players get injured all the time. And they've certainly got something in their back pocket. Like he's right there in their back pocket. So yeah, training camp, technically began, but we got veterans reporting. I think Patrick Mahomes has one of the more reliable receiving rooms that he's had in a very long time. And by the way, let's finish up with some just injury excerpts here. In terms of injury updates, Coach Reed revealed that the defensive end B.J. Thompson, who suffered a medical emergency prior to practice in mid-June, is going to begin training camp on the NFI list, which is the non-football illness/injury list. Andy Reid said he's doing great, but he's going through some procedures as we talk here. He's going to keep going with that, and then we'll keep you updated as we go. That's from Andy Reid. Additionally, Andy Reid said that 4 players will begin or likely begin camp on the physically unable to perform list. That's going to be cornerback Jalen Watson, defensive tackle Derek Nottie, offensive guard Joe Thuney, and defensive end Charles Omenihu. Notably missed from that group was rookie wide receiver Xavier Worthy, who Coach Reed reported was ready to return to action after missing several offseason practices with a hamstring injury. So his hamstring's all good. The injury today was with the finger. But even just talking about injuries here, I don't know why this made me think of it. New tight ends. New tight end coming out over potential next Travis Kelce. Jared Wiley's a really interesting prospect to me, because the Chiefs have always had a really good tight end room because they have Travis freaking Kelce. Tight end number 2 would be Noah Gray. And then they also technically have Irv Smith Jr., who just never has really gotten his feet comfortable in the NFL. He was with Cincinnati last season, in Minnesota the year before it, but he was a former first round tight end. So out of Bama. Jared Wiley, just like Xavier Worthy, but a different personnel group, in my opinion. I'm not saying Xavier Worthy is going to have a 700 receiving yard season. He's obviously fully capable of it. But you've got, Hollywood Brown, you've got Rashee Rice, you've got Travis Kelce. I think anything over 500 yards from Xavier Worthy would be a smashing success. I know he's a first-round guy, but once again, this is the defending Super Bowl champions, so I'm going to take it with a grain of salt, my rookie expectations. But Jared Wiley's going to be one of this guy where, playing behind Travis, who never gets injured, God forbid, whatever his statistical season is in his rookie year, this is a guy I'm keeping a close eye on in training camp, because I think there's a lot of freaking talent there. Tight ends in general, I think, are kind of not properly scouted or evaluated. Jared Wiley, I think the Chiefs got a good one there. So that's it for today. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Like I said, we're going to be covering the Chiefs every day. So hit that sub button if you haven't already. Let me know, who are you most excited to see in action at training camp? Let me know down below, and we'll see you soon.